There was a lot of pressure, Luke, on Mike McCarthy going into this one. He was facing the offensive coordinator that he replaced. What did he show you?
Not much, Jay. Not much. And I mean, there are things that happened today that you can just place solely at the feet of coaching and not having the guys prepared. And to me, that was the amount of penalties. And these weren't physical style penalties. You know, these were just brutal pre-snap things you should be prepared. I mean, right off the bat, you've got 12 men on the field. That should never happen at this level. And it just never seemed to end. Illegal shifts, false starts. I mean, it was brutal. And what's strange was that the Cowboys really, if you eliminate these self-inflicted penalties, they had a chance early in this game to start running away with it, which is what Mike McCarthy has kind of designed this team to do. And again, if you sit there after last week's beatdown with the Niners and they come out and they get maybe an unnecessary roughness call, or there's a couple guys that are really going down the field and not headhunting, but headhunting.
Yeah.
You know, you understand they're playing a little bit of a nasty chip. But to come out here and get those, penalties, illegal shifts, weak holds, it was disappointing, and to me, that's on Mike McCarthy. He's got to get these guys ready to rumble.
Well, we sort of alluded to it. The defense won them this football game.
Yes.
No question about that. So they get the win, but the offense is still flat. Is it just on McCarthy? What's wrong with this offense right now?
After last week's game, they asked CeeDee Lamb, they said, what is the identity of this offense? And his response was, I don't know. And to me, I was looking for a little clarity tonight.
Wow.
What is their identity? And you didn't get any. I think that you listen to Mike McCarthy, and he got rid of Kellen Moore, and he said, hey, everyone knows the famous quote where he was like, we want to not so much light up the scoreboard. We want to really control the game, give our defense a rest. This play right here was the play of the game. It was a scramble. Dak Prescott made something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Pollard made something out of nothing. They can't run the ball effectively at the moment, which is very counterintuitive to everything Mike McCarthy is trying to instill. So the bad news was they're not a great run team at the moment. But the good news is CeeDee Lamb was electric tonight.
Right.
So that's kind of why I say, what is this team's identity? And we talked about Brandon Cooks a little bit earlier as well, where to me, and I don't think Mike McCarthy will do this, mind you, Jay, but to me, the vibe now has got to move from we are no longer a run-first team. We have an electric playmaker in CeeDee Lamb. We have a big receiver in Mike Gallup, and we got to get Cooks going. He's a playmaker. He's been a playmaker in this league.
Yeah.
And we saw it a few times tonight. But to me, I think they're really going to try and force this run game. I don't know if it's going to be successful. That's kind of the jury's out on that, and you're going to see many games where CeeDee Lamb and Cooks are not utilized to their full potential.
And because they replaced Ezekiel with Pollard, they want that to work, right?
Yes,
they want that to look good on them. I mean, otherwise they're going to be questioned constantly by their fan base, I think. And then Justin Herbert, there's no questioning the tools. The arm's unbelievable. It's a cannon. And this was a winnable game for that team, but the Chargers were just never able to put it together consistently. What did you see from Herbert?
I thought he did everything that he could. He was inaccurate at times, which cost him. And that's something you don't really expect from him. But that being said, when you play the Dallas Cowboys with a man named Micah Parsons on the other side of the field, and you don't have any threat of a run game, I think Herbert ended up with 20 or some odd yards, and Eckler and the rest of the staff hardly had anything. I mean, they couldn't run the ball to save their lives. If the Cowboys can make you one-dimensional, that's going to allow Micah Parsons to pin his ears back and just wreak havoc on quarterbacks. And that's pretty much what I thought happened for most of the game.
Yeah.
Herbert, there were some good throws, but when you're back there and you're constantly pressured, that's when the inaccurate throws start to come. And that showed tonight. I think it would show with any quarterback out there is that if you don't give him a run game and you have the pass rush that the Cowboys have, he's not going to be accurate, and he didn't make the throws we're used to see him making.